Let's practice writing and simplifying ratios in three forms together. For each of these given scenarios, we're going to start by writing the original ratio from the problem that we're given. Then we're going to go ahead and write it in simplest form using words, a colon, and a fraction. Three different ways that we can write ratios. All right, so for number one, in a classroom, there are going to be 10 students that are going to be born in America. There's going to be 4 students who are born in Canada, 6 students born in Guatemala, 2 students born in France, and then 8 students who are going to be born in Israel. So for number one, part A, we are being asked what is the ratio of students from Guatemala to France. So Guatemala has to go first. It looks like there's going to be 6 students from Guatemala and there's going to be 2 students from France. So we're going to go ahead and write the ratio of 6 to 2. That's going to be the original ratio, and I'm going to use the colon form here. Now we can go ahead and simplify this by using their GCF. We can divide both of these numbers by 2. So saying the ratio of 6 to 2 is going to be equivalent to saying the ratio of 3 to 1. That's going to be using words here. And then using the colon form, this is going to be 3 to 1. And then using the fraction form here, we're going to say this is the ratio of 3 to 1 in fraction form. Alrighty, so for part B, we're being asked what is the ratio of students that's going to be from Israel to the students from Canada. So Israel is going to have to go first here. Looks like we had 8 students who were born in Israel. Now for Canada, it looks like we have 4. Okay, so we have a ratio of 8 to 4. I'm going to go ahead and write the original one in colon form, 8 to 4, just like this. And what we can do is look for a GCF between these two. Looks like 4 is going to be their GCF. So dividing these both by 4. In the word form, we can say this is going to be a ratio of 2 to 1. So there's double the amount of these people from Israel than to Canada. And then using colon form, it's going to be 2 to 1. And using fraction form, it is 2 to 1. Okay, those are going to be the 3 different ways of writing the simplified ratio. So for part C, we're being asked the ratio of students from France to America. So let's go ahead and look here. So students from France, it looks like we have 2, and students from America, it looks like it's 10. So we have a ratio of 2 to 10. Let's go ahead and write that original ratio down of 2 to 10. Looks like we can simplify this by using a GCF of 2. Let's divide by 2, divide by 2. If we do that, we're going to get a ratio of 1 to 5. So using words, 1 to 5. Using a colon, we can say 1 to 5. And using the fraction form, we can say 1 to 5. Okay. For part D, it looks like we are being asked the ratio of students from Canada to all the students in the classroom. So it looks like there are 4 students from Canada, but what about all the students? For all the students, we have 10 plus 4, that's 14, plus 6, that's going to be 20, plus 2, that's 22, plus 8 is going to be 30. So the total number of students is going to be 30. Okay, that might be a good thing to write here. I'm just going to write the total is equal to 30 students. Okay, that's if you add everybody up there. So again, we're doing from Canada to all the students. So again, there are 4 from Canada. So we're going to write the original ratio of 4. And we're going to write this to 30 because that's all the students. Now we're going to go ahead and simplify this ratio. We can divide by their GCF, as we always do when we simplify. And in word form here, when we simplify this, is going to be a ratio of 2 to 15. Okay, using words, using a colon, it's 2 to 15. And using a fraction form, it is, of course, 2 to 15. For E, we're being asked what is the ratio of all the students to just the students from America. Okay, so how many are all the students? Well, that's 30. And then from America, it looks like there are going to be 10 here. So let's go ahead and see. We have all the students we said was 30. And the students born in America was going to be 10. Okay. Now let's go ahead and simplify this using their GCF. We can divide by 10 and divide by 10. So the word form here is going to be simplified 3 to 1. So for every 3 students, 1 is going to be from America here. And then for the colon form, 3 to 1. And then fraction form, 3 to 1. Here's number 2. For number 2, we have a Chipotle party. There are going to be 28 burritos, 42 tacos, 21 quesadillas, 91 nachos, and 84 salads. This first question is what is the ratio of burritos to nachos? So it looks like there are 28 burritos and 91 nachos. So let's write that original ratio. I'm going to use a colon form. Feel free to use a different form. So 28 to 91. Now, if you want to go ahead and simplify this, you should divide by the GCF, which happens to be 7. If you know your divisibility rules, try to do your best to kind of come up with it. You can also use factor trees to get prime factorizations to help you as well. So in word form, if we simplify this, this is going to be a ratio of 4 to 13. Okay, that's using words. Using a colon, it's 4 to 13, and using a fraction bar or fraction form, it's going to be 4 to 13. Okay. For B here, we have a ratio of salads to quesadillas. So salads, it looks like we have 84, and in quesadillas, it's going to be 21. So we have a ratio of 84 to 21. Okay, now what's their GCF? Well, if you go ahead and write it out, you can use different methods, but the GCF here is going to end up being 21. So if we go ahead and simplify this, 84 divided by 21 is going to be 4, and 21 divided by 21 is going to be 1. So this is a ratio of 4 to 1. Using a colon, 4 to 1. Using fraction form, 4 to 1. Okay. Moving on to C, we have ratio of nachos to quesadillas. So it looks like there's going to be 91 nachos and 21 quesadillas. So our ratio here is going to be 91 to 21. So 91 is the original to 21. That's nachos to quesadillas. Looks like their GCF is going to be 7 as well. They're all divisible by 7 so far. And so rewriting this, 91 divided by 7 is 13, and 21 divided by 7 is going to be 3, so 13 to 3. Using colon form, 13 to 3, and fraction form is going to be 13 to 3. Alrighty, let's go on to D. For D, we have the ratio of tacos to burritos. Let's see, how many tacos were there? 42 tacos and 28 burritos, so 42 to 28. Let's go ahead and write that as 42 to 28. Okay, what's their GCF? Well, again, you can go to play around with it, but I believe it's going to be 14. You can divide these both by 14. 42 divided by 14 is going to be 3, and then 28 divided by 14 is going to be 2. So we have a 3 to 2 ratio, or a 3 to 2 ratio in colon form, or a 3 to 2 ratio of tacos to burritos in fraction form. Alrighty, for part E, it says what's the ratio of all food items to nachos. Okay, so we need to count up all the food items here. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. So looks like we have to add each of these. There's 5 different food items here, right? So if we add 28 plus 42 plus 21 plus 91 plus 84, we should get a total of 266. So let's see, total items, I think that's right, is going to be 266 items. Okay, so feel free to take your time to pause and maybe add those all up together. You should get 266. And what are we finding the ratio of all food items to just nachos? So we're going to go from 266 to the nachos, which is 91. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write 266 to 91. That'll be our original ratio here. So if we have 266 over 91, what can we divide both of these by? Well, I think the GCF here is going to be 7. Let's go ahead and divide these both by 7. If we do that, then we're going to get a ratio of 38 to 13. Now again, if you need to take your time and pause the video to go ahead and do that long division, then make sure you do it. But if you find their prime factorizations or you know their divisibility rules for 7, you can go ahead and find those out. Okay, so 38 to 13, and then in fraction form, this is going to be 38 to 13. Okay, so we have one final one here to try together. We have the ratio of salads to all food items. So good thing we already know all the food items is 266. But what about how many salads there are? So looks like there are 84 salads, and we know there's 266 total items. So let's write the ratio of 84 to 266, right? That'll be our original ratio. Now 84 and 266, what do they have in common? I think we could divide both of these by 14. So if we go ahead and divide both of these by 14 here, again, feel free to use the ladder method or prime factorization method. You may go with 7 first or 2 first to make it smaller, but you should end up with getting 14 because 7 and 2 are both common factors of both of these values. Okay, so 84 divided by 14 is going to be 6, and then this 266 divided by 14 is going to be 19. So that's going to be the word form here. Using a colon, the ratio is 6 to 19. So again, for every 19 items, 6 of them are going to be a salad. Okay, ratio of 6 to 19. Alrighty, so there you have 2 different examples. Each of them had a few different parts to hopefully give you some more practice in getting to know the 3 different forms of writing ratios, and make sure you're simplifying ratios, but also making sure the orders are correct as well. So hopefully you found the video helpful. As always, keep up the great work that you're already doing, and I'll see you in the next one.